What's up guys? Welcome to the Backyard Revival, the series where I'm rebuilding this free ride trail in my dad's backyard that I had built 10 years ago. Today we're going to be working on the final feature of this trail, and it's going to be the biggest and gnarliest feature yet. So in the last video you saw that I finished up this cement drop. So it's a hop-on drop, and you drop into this landing. You probably saw me ride it. Hopefully you saw me ride it, and hopefully it worked out well. But as far as my filming right now, I haven't actually had a chance to ride it because it's been so wet, but I want to keep moving. So you'll see right here on the trail, the next thing is this roller. This used to be a tabletop, but while I had the Bobcat a couple weeks ago, I actually turned it into a roller. I was gonna just take it out, but then once I realized the Bobcat could just drive over this, I figured I might as well take advantage of it, and it'll really help to build some speed if I need it after that drop. What you can also see over there is that I'm stacking up a massive landing, and that's gonna be for a big booter jump that I already built. So we're gonna go into that footage right now, and then I'm going to start working on building up that landing, and then we'll get that jump in place, and hopefully everything works out. We'll see. First step was to buy the treated lumber, which is apparently brown now instead of green. Then I did some of the transition layout off camera. All right, this looks a little bit like absolute chaos right now. But this is going to be one of the sides for the jump, and we're looking at it right now kind of the way that it's going to be set up, with this part as the bottom and this part will be the top. And the radius is already marked. I have a few lines on there because I was doing a little bit of trial and error on trying to maximize my materials here. So you can see this inner line here is the one I'm gonna cut, and that's basically the radius. And then I got this piece marked here because this is actually gonna be the bottom down there, because it's gonna extend out to this far. So I'll have to use a longer 2x4 for the bottom, which this is the only longer one I have right now. So that's something I'll have to figure out when I make the second side. But anyways, it'll make a little bit more sense once I start cutting this and getting it together. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this piece here, and then the two little pieces out of that piece, and then hopefully I'll have enough still left on that one for the other side, and I think I will. So that's the plan. To cut the radius, I did 2 passes with the circular saw, setting the blade depth shallow for the first pass and to 1.5 inch for the second pass. This is a much better way of getting a smooth transition than using a jigsaw like a lot of people do. Then I organized the full layout and attached all the pieces using lag screws. From there, I transferred the patterns of the boards for the second side, cut them, and then assembled it. Well, I got the 2 sides done. Other than this little piece I gotta cut off, but I'll do that later. Next, I cut all of the surface boards. When I have a curved radius, I like to use 2x4s to follow the transition more precisely. And I cut them to 32 inches for the width of the jump so that I can get 3 pieces out of one 8-foot 2x4. This is a bit narrow for a jump this big, but to me it was the best use of materials. I still need to add some, another board along there, maybe just a 2x4. That'll strengthen all that up, and then maybe a couple other braces in there, and should be a good kicker. Send a picture to Colin. He said it looks like it's going to be a booter, so I think it's right where it needs to be, honestly. I will return to the jump later, but the next step in the process is to stack as much dirt as I can to build a landing. First, I had to move some stuff out of the way, and then I took dirt from an existing tabletop jump that we no longer use. Stay tuned because I do have a plan for this jump in the future, but I don't need it to be as big, so the dirt will be better used for the landing of this trick jump. In the process of building this trail, I have been trying to do what I can to clean up my dad's yard. So I did some grading in the area to smooth out the land, and I was able to get a decent amount of dirt by doing so. I also took some dirt from the original jump that used to be part of the downhill trail. I then had even more issues with the Bobcat, so I rented one for the day and stacked some more dirt with it. I didn't film much because I was in a hurry to get as much done in the yard as I could with the rental. I wasn't able to source as much dirt as I wanted, so I decided I needed to build a retaining wall to shape the front side of the landing to maximize the material that I had. So I got this dug out quite a bit and kind of just gonna accept where it's at right now. And essentially I'm going to build a retaining wall here. I got a pile of reclaimed lumber, I got some new wood that I'm going to use for this, and basically build up like a 7 or 8 foot tall wall here for this landing because the jump is pretty big. This dirt's already kind of screened now since we've been raking it out, so it'll be good for fill up there, and essentially we'll get a little bit more bang for our buck with building this retaining wall. So gonna do that. After some work on the landing, I wanted to get the jump into place. Alright, so here's where I'm at. Basically, I was getting tired of throwing the dirt up there, so I kind of took a break from that. There's still quite a bit to do, but what I did is I dug out this spot right here, which is where the lawn tramp will go. I'm not exactly sure where it's going to be, so I left myself some extra room, but I want to get that over here and start visualizing that, and then I'll work on the rest of that dirt work. Make sure I'm making the landing the right height, and to do that I need to get the lawn tramp over here, so I'm going to do that right now. After dragging the jump with my dad's Jeep, he and my girlfriend Watiri helped me move it into place and get it leveled. Alright, so we got this lawn tramp in here. It's looking really good actually. I'm like really happy with the way it fit. I was worried that I would have to put it too far there and it'd be too close to that roller, but I think there's just enough room to make that ride real good and be comfortable. And then the landing looks like it's lined up right. The jump looks like it's lined up right. I kind of visualized everything. It's all looking good. And the next step is I've decided it makes it a little less cool, but I want to make it safe and I want to make it fun for more people. So I'm going to build a deck on top of here. So I'm going to span the gap between the launch and then that wall, that retaining wall, and that's going to help strengthen that up too. I'm going to then sheet it just with some deck boards, and I think it's going to be just a lot more fun for more people if I build it that way. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to work on that now because I still don't feel like stacking more of that dirt. The woodwork went pretty quickly. I cut some deck boards that started at the same width as the launch and got wider towards the landing. After smoothing out the transition from dirt to wood, Watiri decided she'd be the first person to try.
Let me put it over here. I'm coming! Surprise footage for Andy. Don't come!
She's never ridden a jump this big, so it didn't go so well. Alright, I haven't been filming so much on the progress of the landing, but it's getting somewhere. Not exactly in the way that I wanted to. The Bobcat's down. Unfortunately, we've pretty much touched every piece on it trying to get that thing working, and it's not working. But I did rent that Bobcat and got a little bit of work done. And right now I'm trying to get this landing done because tomorrow I'm having people over to ride. And I just need to get it done, so I started filling it with logs, which is the last thing I wanted to do, but I did that, and I started slapping plywood on the sides to hold the dirt in. All sorts of things I really wasn't planning on doing with this, but just in an effort to get it done, that's where I'm at. So my dad's helping me, and we're gonna keep shaping this landing and stacking dirt on the top, and yeah, it kind of sucks. I got the jump stacked as best as I could, and the next day we had a jam and a bunch of my friends got together to ride the trail and get some of the first hits on the jump. Now that summer's here in Wisconsin, I have more plans for this backyard trail, so stay tuned and let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like and subscribe because it really helps me get these videos out in the future.